Welcome to Twists of Life, where every story has an unexpected turn. Stories of joy and sorrow, hope and redemption, just like the life we all live. Make yourself comfortable. It's time to begin. The girls walked along the long park alley and talked. They discussed the latest events in their lives. Now that Sarah was married and had a child, she and Claire saw each other very rarely. Charlie, the border collie, ran beside his owner, step for step, looking around. He was calm and reserved, generally, as always. Claire let the dog off the leash. He looked back, waiting for verbal permission, and hurried away. The dog frolicked with other dogs in the fenced area. They had been here before, and Charlie knew everyone here. They quickly started a game, and now joyful barking reigned around the enclosure. "I feel sorry for you, Claire," Sarah said. And this phrase was so unexpected that Claire stared at her friend. But Sarah continued unperturbed. "Look at your life. You have nothing. You're already 26, and you have no family, no children, not even a boyfriend. Just work and a dog. Nothing else." Sarah added, "You're losing precious time. No one will marry you at 30. You'll just be left to pine away with your dog, computer, and chocolates." "I was like you too, until I understood what real female happiness is," Sarah questioned, not understanding. "This is our main purpose. How can you refuse it?" Claire was still silent. She just smirked, anticipating exactly where this conversation was headed. Tension hung in the air, foretelling a quick quarrel. "But think about it. You're a woman. You should give birth," Sarah continued. "I didn't want to either. I kept saying it was too early for me. But I gave birth, and now I can't get enough of my little son." She looked lovingly at the stroller she was pushing in front of her. "You should have given birth at least for yourself. Without a child, it's not a life at all." "Sarah, I love you, but you've honestly lost your mind," Claire finally said. "I'm not just a girl. I'm a person first and foremost. I don't want to live the way I'm supposed to, or the way someone else said. I love my dog, my job, my small studio apartment. I love my life, and I'm happy just like this. Do I need to give birth because you gave birth, or because someone said all women must?" Claire continued calmly, trying not to offend her friend. "It sounds terribly stupid. It's like some kind of herd instinct, honestly. If you gave birth, then everyone around must give birth. But all people are different, and every woman has the right to live as she wants. I want to live without children." "Well, you're a fool. You'll regret it later," Sarah cut in rudely. "A woman's happiness is in children and family, not in dogs, apartments, and chocolates." Claire looked at her friend again with bewilderment. "And what if your mother hadn't given birth to you?" "I wouldn't exist. And it wouldn't matter," Claire replied. "Okay, Sarah. Apparently there's a reason we haven't seen each other for so long. I'm sorry that I no longer fit your ideal of a friend." Claire was simply tired of hearing about Sarah's son every time, about her wonderful husband, about how happy she was to be a mother, and most importantly, about how Claire simply had to give birth. This must complex appeared in Sarah somehow excessively abruptly. Before, Sarah was cheerful and free, but after being married for a year and a mother for 3 months, she seemed to have become a robot, where everyone around owed her something. Claire continued, "We probably shouldn't see each other anymore. I don't want to hear that I owe someone something, that my dog is stupid, my job is abnormal, as you put it." She added, "I think it's better for you to socialize with other mothers whose lives are definitely going just as they should." Claire turned towards the enclosure. "Charlie, come!" The dog instantly stopped playing and ran to his owner. She attached the leash and walked away. Sarah, dumbfounded by such a statement, remained standing there. Claire walked with the dog along the alley, and he followed his owner step for step. He looked at her with such love, as if there was nothing happier for this dog than simply being by her side. At that moment, Claire felt truly needed. Claire turned left onto a street and walked along the sidewalk, bypassing the large park. She felt drained. Claire was tired of listening to her friends' reproaches. She was just tired. They came out onto a semi-empty street. Claire took off the dog's leash. Charlie ran freely beside her, enjoying his freedom. Claire thought that Sarah wasn't entirely honest with herself. Claire had seen Sarah's tears 1,000,000 times, listened to her complaints, and such a life certainly didn't seem happy. Her husband had literally forced Sarah to give birth, claiming he would divorce her if he didn't become a father. She agreed with tears, and after giving birth, he constantly reproached her with the child if something went wrong. Now he wouldn't let her work. She could only leave the house with the stroller. Sarah's whole life had turned into a confinement, and Claire certainly didn't want such a life. Claire looked back and saw that the dog wasn't there. She flinched and called Charlie, but he was nowhere to be seen. Claire started to rush back, but then she turned her head and saw a man lying on the ground. Everyone was just walking past. No one helped him. Only Charlie was nudging him with his nose, barking and whining, trying to help the man. Claire rushed to the dog, fell to her knees, and felt for the man's pulse. She immediately called an ambulance. Charlie circled around the man, not stopping. "Good boy. Well done," Claire said, stroking the dog behind the ear. When the ambulance arrived, the man was taken away, and Claire and the dog remained standing. She turned to the dog and said, "You did well, but you shouldn't have run off. If you had called, I would have followed you. Understood?" The dog looked at her as if he really understood. But from then on, Claire never let him off the leash. They walked home along the long and again semi-empty street, turning off the busy avenue. Claire barely thought about the man they had found. The ambulance staff took her number just in case, but Claire doubted they would call her. After all, she didn't know this person at all. Claire approached the multi-story building and entered her apartment. After having his paws washed, Charlie lay down on his bed and almost immediately dozed off. Claire checked for new orders in her online store and went to make the ordered chocolates and candies she sold. Her hobby had turned into a real profession, and Claire earned excellent money. Of course, from the outside, her work looked abnormal. Even when people found out that Claire earned 3 times more than them, they still turned up their noses and said it wasn't work at all. Turning on a TV series in the kitchen, Claire got to work. She went into the living room for molds, and she didn't like the look of Charlie. The dog looked lethargic. His eyes were watering. Claire examined him, but found no other symptoms of illness. She went back to the kitchen. One evening, when she finished and entered the living room again, she was already rushing headlong to the phone to call a taxi. Charlie was very ill. Tear-stained, Claire sat in the back seat of a yellow taxi. Charlie lay on the seat, his head on her lap. He was drooling heavily and had a fever. The dog was breathing heavily and intermittently. Getting out of the car, she picked up the 20-kilogram dog, barely feeling his weight due to stress. The young woman carried the dog into the clinic. The doctors immediately took over the new patient. "I'm very sorry," the doctor said, announcing the diagnosis, "but we don't have the facilities for such operations here. We'll keep him on a drip until morning, and then you'll have to decide. Either put him down or transport him." The doctor added, "You need specialized transport, and that will be quite expensive. About 100 just to get there, and the operation itself will cost a pretty penny. This breed is prone to this kind of illness. You couldn't have done anything to prevent it. Go home. You need to think about it until morning." Claire cried the whole evening until deep into the night, until she fell asleep from tears and burning, stinging eyes. She cried because she didn't have that much money saved up. She also couldn't find any acquaintances to lend it to her. Claire, still not losing hope, went to the clinic early in the morning. She cried in the taxi too, tightly clutching her bag with her savings. Claire decided she would do anything to find the money for the operation. She just needed to transport the dog. Just then, the taxi pulled up to the doors of the expensive, round-the-clock clinic. Claire got out and went straight to the reception. But the doctor met her with eyes wide with surprise. "Your dog has already been taken," he said. The doctor looked extremely surprised. He added, "And the funds have been transferred to the account. Your dog should already be there. He was picked up about 2 hours ago." "I don't quite understand. Who made the payment then?" the doctor asked himself. "I did," said a man, standing up from a bench in the corridor. Claire looked at him and instantly recognized the very man whom her dog had effectively saved. People had just walked past, thinking someone else would help. But in the end, only Charlie had rushed to save the man. The man led the tear-stained young woman with red eyes outside to talk. "Don't worry, he's already there. They're preparing him for surgery," he said. "The doctors give almost 100% guarantee that everything will be fine, because you were very quick to react." The man continued, "Your dog? When I felt ill in the middle of the street from a heart attack, I might not have survived. No one helped me, only your dog called you. I even remember him nudging my face with his cold nose, and everyone around didn't care. There's more humanity in a dog than in people." "They gave me your number, and my people quickly found you," the man said, smiling. "They immediately told me there was trouble with your dog, and I hurried to help. Time was critical here. A life for a life, as they say." "I'll never forget this." "Thank you," Claire said, starting to cry again. I gathered my last money. I kept thinking. And then you," she added. "How can I thank you? It's not a small amount. I make amazing homemade chocolate. Would you like me to make it for you for the rest of my days to repay you?" "What nonsense," the man smiled. "For me, it's not such a large amount. Let's do this. When your dog recovers and gets better, you'll go on a date with me. Well, since you want to thank me." Claire couldn't help but smile back at him. Everything was wonderful now, but if Claire had been late in seeking help, Charlie wouldn't have survived. Even this her new acquaintance helped her find out. And when he gave her proof that her friend Sarah had a hand in it, Claire was stunned. Claire's first thought was to go to Sarah, but Sarah immediately started crying, hoping to justify herself with tears. Only these tears no longer moved Claire. "I thought it was because of the dog you were like this." "But you're a woman," Sarah sobbed. "If your dog had died, you would have wanted a child. We would have raised children together. We would have been friends like before." "You know, Sarah, someone capable of doing that to an animal is also capable of doing it to a person," Claire said. "And in this life, everything comes back. Wait for your turn. I believe in karma." Claire added, "Goodbye, Sarah. Live your happy family life and wait. Life will definitely settle the score with you." Claire went downstairs to the not-so-flattering remarks of her former friend directed at her. Their relationship had collapsed in an instant. Claire felt relief. Claire got into David's car. He smiled at her, and she couldn't help but smile back. The dog in the back seat rested his head on his owner's shoulder. Claire thought that fate did exist after all. It was as if David had been sent so that he could later save Charlie, who might not have survived because of Sarah. Claire believed that David and Charlie were sent by fate itself, and from now on, everything would be fine for them.